Hi guys, today we will discuss Stripe Payment Integration Systems. Stripe Payment Integration Systems is a setup that allow you to access and manage the online payments through Stripe payment service providers. Before going how this works, let's understand some problems. What happens here? Here it is a client, and here it is a banking. Here it is a banking services. When the clients wants to buy some products and do the payments so that time we need some banking access to interact to do the payments directly, but what's the problems happens to do the to this clients to do the payment directly. Clients works to do the payments in a sorry clients wants to do the business, not to handle the banking process or banking services, how the payments is transactions is happens. The clients works to do the business, they cannot handle both like business as well as banking services together. So that's why we need some systems. By using this we can do the payments like net banking, net banking, card payments, and GPS like that. We can do a smooth way. So that's why we need it is do like some matrix process. So overcome this, we need some systems like payment integration system. Payment integration systems to direct the this the use of this is when the clients wants to do the payments, it do not directly communicate or directly access the banking services. They send all the details like about the products, it will directly sends to these systems. It helps to do the payments in a smooth way, or gives you uh, some capacity to do these payments. Why we not do this directly? Because it client's work is to do the business, and banking service to handle this both banking service and business, it's too much complicated and hectic. To overcome this we use a payment integration systems to when the because when the clients wants to do the payments, they send all the details like our banking related bank sorry your products related, they send here, and they this system work to do some things for related the payments, and after like what type of data they will handles all these things. And then after they sends the data to the or uh, to the with payments how much the amounts, all this they sends to the banking. But before going to this banking services, payment integration systems will interact with some other systems like called some providers. Hmm. To the pay so the payment integration systems directly do not directly interact with banking services. They interact first to the banking services, sorry some payment services, some payment services. After that, the banking services will communicate with bank. Why we use payment service providers? Because um, the what the amounts will comes, what's the amount will come for the products, uh, so it goes to the like some platforms accounts like Amazon accounts. So we need some authorized persons or license based persons who who transferred the who transferred the amounts securely or to send the amounts secure way. So we need some sort of payment service providers. So our project's name is a Stripe payment integration systems. So we use a Stripe providers. Stripe PSP is nothing but Stripe payment service providers. Why we so there are so many providers or comes in markets, but we use a Stripe payments providers in these projects. You can use any PSP to making by using for the customer requirements. We use any PSP, but we use a Stripe payment service providers. So now let's understand how the Stripe PSP works. Here you have the client, and here you have the payment integration systems, and here you have a payment service providers, and here you have assume any bank. Like let's take a bank service, banking service. So here it is a banking service, and here it is the provider, and here it is a system, and here it is a client. Hmm. Now, now the question is comes how they here so many systems and services. The question is comes how this how different services is connect with each others, like how to access all data from one services to another services. So to so we know that to connect with one services to another services, we need a API. By using API, we can call or communicate with one services to another services. One services to another services. That's why we need a API. By using API, we can communicate with one services to another services, like a Stripe service providers to bank services, payment integration to Stripe payments, client services to payment integration service. Like that, we can communicate. So now let's understand how is the flow. So here we have a clients, and clients wants to buy some products like phone by using the platforms like the Amazon. By using Amazon, they wants to buy some products, and after that they wants to buy the phone amounts. So when the client will click the payment, first of all, the client will add our product in a cart sections, and after that they wants to do the payments. So when they click the process, so the payment, when they click the payment button, all the datas will goes to here, comes to here in like in payment integration systems. So here is send all the details, and all the details. Like what's the details means? Details means is our phones, what's the colors, what's the price, how much price of the phones, everything will comes from clients to comes to payment integration systems. After that, the all the details will go to in Stripe payment integration systems. That and but at the time when the payment integration systems sends the details about the phones, one API will call, because we are communicate with another services. So that's time one API will be called. Like the API will be created, like create a session API. Create session API will be called. The create session API is used to it is a Stripe payment API, Stripe APIs, because we are using a Stripe payment service providers. That's why we use a Stripe APIs to communicate with one services to another services. And let's next what's happening. Um, then the payment integration systems will send a request by using some APIs to the Stripe payment service providers. After payment Stripe payment integration, some process, and after later they give some response back to the payment integration systems. Like they give some response in the form of JSON. JSON is nothing but JSON is stands for JavaScript's object notations. It is in the form of key and values pair, like that. Key. Hmm. It gives the response back in the form of JSON. JSON stands for JavaScript's object notations. The format of JSON is key and values pair, and inst but in the key and values pair, but what's data will come, the data is like some id, data is come like some id, and some url. some IDs and URL is uh, go back to the from payment integration from Stripe payment integration service uh, to payment integration systems. After the payment integration systems will give the same response back to the client service. Like that it happened. In the form of JSON. In the form of JSON. And after that, the clients click the URL which is given by the which is sent or given by the Stripe payment integrations URL. Then the after that client will click this URL. After that client will click this URL and URL will send and after that client will click this URL and it goes back to redirect to the some different page, redirect to another page with this redirect to this page. This page is nothing but here we have to provide your card details like card name, uh, card owner name, expiry date, everything will be presents here. A card, all the card details will comes here. After that, the payments will after that the client will click the process all the then all the response back to the response come back to the Stripe payment service providers. So here Stripe after that everything is no payment in Stripe payment in the service providers know about the status of the pay status about the for the payments status about the payment status means status means the payment is happening successfully or not, it is a pending like it like payment is successfully happened, failed, or validation issues is happening, everything will be comes they give some the response all these back to the Stripe payment service providers. And after that the Stripe payments give some give back to some response and the to the payment integration systems like payment is successful or not, like some notifications will come here. Start payment integrations will get to the payment integration systems. After that the payment integration systems give the response back which is given from the Stripe payments back to the client and after that the client understands okay our payment is successful our payment is successful or not, or if the payment is successful they can buy or give to the products. If the payment or validation failed to try again once again it will be happen by using the codes and this status will give by the all this notification will given by the clients. Now let's understand how the create session is work and how it is called. So first we go to this Stripe documentations. Here we have to read all these documents and understand how they create a how to create a checkout sessions. Here all the documents are present. So now let's do the create one checkout sessions. First we first we copy this code and paste it in import in Postman. I will use the same collections, but I will change the name. After that, we go to the uh, uh, authorization and see here you have a username. This username is comes uh, by using this Stripe documentations. So by using this we can use the Stripe documentations and create a one Stripe documentations, and there we give a test key, API key, which will comes here at the time when we create a dashboards. If Stripe dashboards, it will comes here. After that I will do now. Let's see is a param comes in param, and here you have to see no comes to in body, and see here you have to all these fields key is comes and values is also comes. So now let's check. First we check to run this key and values pair, and what happens is come. No, here we have to come some bad request is comes. So now let's do edits by using this documents like create session documents, and edit all these fields, all these key or fields in line items. A list of items of the customer is purchasing using the parameters to pass one time or recurring prices. Like let's here we have to provide the price, how much, like quantity, modules, and successful URL also. So now let's do the and edit all this prices. Instead of price, here you have to check for the so all these chunks. Here we have to use a price, but the ID of the price or plan objects once of the price or the price data is required. So when we use a price to items dot price, we need a ID. But when we use a price data use, so here we need only data. I don't want ID, or I have no ID, so we use a price data. So here also I will use a price data and edit this price data in currency also. And later we have quantities will okay, and then and let's check the documents and see the documents still. Here we have to come. Here we need a price data, and I will provide it, and here I have to provide a data product price data into products and provides the product's name means. So when we use a product data price, then it will also need our ID, but we need to price data dot product data. We will use this one. So let's edit this by using in here. I will use this key. I've already everything, so you can use manually, write manually, and and here I have to provide the products names like earphone, and after that, let's see. Um, Here and the price of unit amount. So now let's provides the products unit price here, and here I have to provide when we use the currency like I would use euro, and then the product and then per unit price is 10,000. And now let's check the what happening, comes or not, URL is come or not. Let's check. Now let's see here, you ID as well as URL is also comes, but when we change, but when we run this one again, here all these IDs will change uh, every times. So now let's check, our URL is comes. So now copy this URL. Sorry, here URL is comes. So now copy this URL and paste this URL in browser and checks the card pages comes or not. Now card pages comes, and here you have to provide all the card details and then do the payment.